We are used to seeing them as marble sages with perfect features and calm expressions. But who were they in reality? Living men walking the noisy streets of Athens, involved in wars, political struggles, and dramatic trials. The classical period of Greece was an age of democracy, tragedy, and intellectual revolution. It was the time of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, thinkers who shaped the foundations of Western civilization. Yet their true appearance is often hidden beneath layers of artistic idealization and later interpretations. Today, we will try to see them as their contemporaries might have seen them. Socrates, considered one of the founders of Western philosophy, lived in Athens and left no written works. His ideas are known through Plato and Xenophon. Developed the Socratic method of questioning and dialogue, focused on ethics, self-knowledge, and virtue, accused of corrupting the youth and executed by drinking hemlock. His death became a symbol of philosophical integrity. He spent much of his life engaging ordinary citizens in public spaces, challenging their assumptions and exposing contradictions in their beliefs. Socrates saw himself as a gadfly of Athens, provoking critical thinking in a society he believed had grown complacent. Plato, student of Socrates and teacher of Aristotle, founded the Academy in Athens, one of the earliest philosophical schools. Developed the theory of forms, claiming true reality exists beyond the physical world, author of famous dialogues including The Republic. Explored justice, politics, the soul, and knowledge, had a profound influence on Western philosophy and Christian thought. Plato also used dialogues as a literary form to present philosophical ideas through conversation rather than direct exposition. Many of his works feature Socrates as the central character, allowing Plato to preserve and develop his teacher's legacy. Aristotle, student of Plato and tutor of Alexander the Great, founded his own school, the Lyceum, developed formal logic and laid foundations in biology, physics, metaphysics, and ethics. His works cover nearly all fields of ancient knowledge. Unlike Plato, he emphasized observation and empirical analysis. His ideas shaped Western science and philosophy for over a millennium. Aristotle also introduced the concept of the golden mean, the idea that virtue lies between extremes of excess and deficiency. He placed great importance on classification and systematically organized knowledge, influencing scientific methodology for centuries. His approach combined careful observation with logical reasoning, setting a model for future scholars. Xenophon, Athenian historian, writer, and student of Socrates, participated in military campaigns described in Anabasis, preserved important accounts of Socrates' life and teachings, focused on politics, military affairs, and practical ethics. His style was more pragmatic and less abstract than Plato's. Provides an alternative perspective on Socrates. Xenophon's writings often reflect his admiration for discipline, leadership, and effective governance. His works, such as Cyropaedia, blend history and philosophy, offering insights into ideal rulership and moral character. He presented philosophy in a more practical and accessible way. Isocrates, Athenian rhetorician and contemporary of Plato, founded an influential school of rhetoric, believed education was essential for forming virtuous citizens, emphasized practical wisdom and political responsibility. His works influenced Roman rhetorical tradition, one of the most prominent intellectuals of his era. He viewed rhetoric not merely as the art of persuasion, but as a moral force capable of shaping responsible leaders and strengthening the polis. Unlike Plato, who was skeptical of rhetoric, Isocrates believed that eloquent speech combined with ethical character was essential for political stability. He called for greater unity among the Greek city-states, especially in the face of external threats. Diogenes of Sinope, one of the most radical philosophers of antiquity and a leading figure of cynicism. Born in Sinope, he later lived in Athens and Corinth. He advocated rejection of material wealth and social conventions, viewing virtue as the only true good. According to tradition, he lived in a large clay jar and openly mocked authority and social norms. When Alexander the Great offered to grant him any wish, Diogenes replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." This episode became a lasting symbol of philosophical independence and inner freedom in the face of power. Epicurus, founder of Epicureanism, a philosophical school focused on achieving tranquility and happiness. Born on the island of Samos, he later established the Garden in Athens, a community of students and followers. Epicurus taught that the highest good is the absence of pain and inner disturbance. He developed an atomistic view of the universe, building on the ideas of Democritus. Contrary to later stereotypes, Epicureanism promoted moderation rather than indulgence. His philosophy greatly influenced Roman thinkers and Enlightenment thought. Zeno of Citium, founder of Stoicism, one of the most influential philosophical schools of antiquity. Born in Citium on Cyprus, he later moved to Athens, where he taught in the Stoa Poikile, painted porch, from which the school takes its name. Zeno taught that the highest good is living in accordance with nature and reason. He believed the wise person should remain internally calm, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism emphasized self-discipline, virtue, and mastery over passions. His ideas profoundly influenced Roman philosophy and later Western thought. Pyrrho, founder of ancient skepticism. Born in Elis, he is said to have accompanied Alexander the Great on Eastern campaigns, where he encountered different philosophical traditions. Pyrrho taught suspension of judgment about the true nature of things, arguing that certainty is beyond human reach. This state of epoche, or withholding judgment, leads to inner tranquility and peace of mind. His philosophy was less about building a system and more about achieving psychological stability. Pyrrhonian skepticism later influenced Roman thinkers and early modern philosophy. His background as a painter may have shaped his sensitivity to appearances and illusions, reinforcing his belief that reality is difficult to grasp with certainty. This perspective deepened his philosophical focus on perception and doubt. History is not just what happened, it's what still echoes within us. If you felt this story, don't let it fade. Subscribe and step with us into the next chapter.